Yes, boys! Let's go! We've done it! We've done it! Yes! Oh, get your beers out, boys! Get your beers out! Yes! Get in there! Get in there! We've done it! We've done it! Yes! We are going up! Say we are going up! We are going up! Say we are going up! We are going up! Say we are going up! Yes! Come on, lads! Come on! Get in! Whew. Get in there! I don't know why it's suddenly gone miles out of focus. What's this about? I have no idea what's going on. Why am I so out of focus? Oh my God. My webcam's been on the beers. You can tell. Right. Lucas Manfab says get in. Lucas on Terry's account. Set up the tags and come on. Regan Fitzpatrick says we're going up. Mate, I'll get the link in the chat. There's the StreamYard link. We are going up, Lee. Indeed, we are going up. What a nervous second half. We'll get on to reviewing the games in a moment. But make sure that you lot click that StreamYard link. Give me your opinions. We're going to have guests on throughout the stream, through all of it. So you can give your opinions on everything that is going on. We've got Lewis in the stream. Lewis, what are you saying?
We've already gone and done it. We've already gone and done it.
Indeed, we have. Indeed, we have.
That second half, I don't know what to say. We was not on it at all. We looked very shaky. We looked like we was going to try and Brexit it. We looked like we looked like we was going to a Sean Dice Brexit.
Indeed, we were. Indeed, we were. Lucas has one more job to do. And then we're champions. Lennon, mate, podcast host. Yes, Joe, we're finally up.
Can we win it against Wigan? Or
theoretically, yes. Because if Peterborough lose their game in hand on Tuesday against Doncaster, which is unlikely but could happen, all we need to do is win against Wigan and then we'd be sorted. Right, Lucas, say your piece, mate.
All right, let's go. Come on. Up the Tigers. What a game. And, well, just glad to be back. And, well, what a game. A penalty. Malik Wilkes. Shaky second half, to be fair. I was a bit worried when they got that equaliser. But then we got
Weren't we all?
100% a penalty, without a doubt a penalty. Malik Wilkes, bottom left corner, sent the keeper the wrong way, and boom.
He was so cool about it as well. Lewis, I'm sure you'll agree. He just walked up and was so casual.
I'm more annoyed that we should have. Yes, we got on in the second half. It was a game, but we should have had one in the first half, let alone the second half.
Oh yeah, we should have had a penalty, shouldn't we? When Dennis was bundled over.
I was on the stream with Cam Weston and all that.
I know what you mean.
Well, yeah, and even the Lincoln people on there, including Cameron, that's a pen. That's a Stonewall pen.
The referee was initially, I thought, quite ruthless and quite strict, but he only booked in the first half 3 people. I thought he'd booked a lot more than that.
Not to go. Honeyman was lucky not to go.
If Honeyman wasn't injured, I am more than certain he would have been either sent off or substituted, because McCann wouldn't, one, want to take the risk of him not lasting the 90 minutes, and 2,
or him having to
walk and be suspended. Because we know that Honeyman's injury record recently hasn't been too great. But having him, what we saw when he was out for just 1 or 2 games, we missed him. Imagine if he was out for an extended period of time. And I hope that the injury isn't too serious, considering McCann told him to get back on and he was running about all right for a couple of seconds. I'd imagine he's relatively okay. What are your thoughts on that, Lucas?
Well, one thing I have to say is there's still one job to go, and that's going up as champions. Bit of silverware in the bag. That'd be nice.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I could not agree more. For those watching, the StreamYard link is in the chat, or it should be anyway. I have no idea. It's not letting me post it in the chat again. I have no idea what's going on there. I'm just going to move.
I have to say.
Pardon?
Another thing I have to say is I wasn't watching the game, so I don't really know what went on because I was out. I wasn't watching the game.
Oh wow!
I saw the girls on an Instagram. I saw the girls on the update channels on Instagram stories, and obviously I was listening to a live commentary of the game, but no, I wasn't watching the game, so you'll have to talk me through that.
Sorry about that, guys. My dad's just walked in, shouted, "We are going up," so I had to mute my mic. Right, we have Riley Somerville in chat, first guest.
We are celebrating today. I have the biggest bottle of Moretti you can have, so I'm enjoying myself here. I didn't get to see the game either, sadly. I was reporting on a football game locally, so I couldn't watch the game, but I was focusing on it on Twitter, and I'm just so happy, lads. But like you say, we got to go up as champions now.
We have StreamYard link is in the chat if you want to come along and have a chat. Lewis and Lucas, is it all right if we just come back to you in a little while?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. If you want to just stay in the lobby, that's fine.
Hello.
But if you want to just clear off and do something else, that's also fine as well. So it was, from what you saw on Twitter, what impression did you get of the game, Riley?
Well, I thought it was just going to be another one of those, some of those games we saw earlier in the season where we'd go 1-up, we'd concede a sloppy goal, we concede it's a volley from a corner. I don't know how you concede a volley from a corner, but I assume we've had some disappointing display there. But I thought it was just one of those games. It was always going to end 1-1, it seemed, because we just wanted it to go up, but it was always going to end 1-1. But my man Eves, he's won the penalty. Wilkes has scored. We're going up. Tom Eves. I was saying to my mate, saying if Tom Eves scores the goal that sends us up, nobody's ever allowed to talk bad about him ever again. And he's won us the penalty.
They will not. He effectively got the assist.
He got the assist for sending us up, so he's the best player ever. No one's ever allowed to speak ill of him again.
Exactly. If you're wondering about the volley from a corner, it was a deep corner. Back post just didn't pick him up, and Montsma just connected with it with his right foot.
Yeah. It's disappointing that because obviously Honeyman had to come off. We're playing. I assume Jones moved into midfield when Burke came on. So you're playing happened, yeah, you're playing quite a defensive formation there. You can't. I wasn't expecting much to happen because we're playing a lot of people behind the ball.
We were.
And you don't have Honeyman pushing up.
One of the lads in the stream before, I can't remember whether it was Lewis or Lucas. They just said we were trying to go full Brexit Burnley style of play.
Yeah, I don't get why we ever.
For the first 15 minutes, we were just putting everyone behind the ball.
Yeah, I don't get why we ever tried to play long ball because McGuinness isn't that tall, Wilkes isn't tall, and Keane Lewis Potter isn't very tall.
Keane Lewis Potter definitely isn't tall.
Keane Lewis Potter is like 5'7", Wilkes is probably about 5'9", and Josh McGuinness probably barely gets to 6 foot. You're not going to win long ball football with those three players.
You're not going to win that, are you?
No,
let's have a look what people are saying in chat. HXO Alex says, "Let's go. I'm actually emotional. So happy."
Yeah, it just feels great because obviously I was too young. I'm too young to really remember going up in '08, and I was still quite young
As
when
am
we went
I.
up in. Yeah, you're much
To
younger.
remember
Yeah,
08. What am I?
And even 2016, I remember watching 2016 on Sky and watching it. I remember Diame's goal going in, but really, I was still quite young then, and now it just feels great. I'm a bit
I was
older.
very young then as well. I remember the day. I remember the journey up to Wembley.
Yeah.
I remember where I was sat. I remember seeing the goal go in, and initially I thought about Diame going for that shot. Why the hell is he going for that? But he just looped in.
Yeah,
And
it's just
it's moments like that which, even though I was so young, I'll never forget. But it will have to be quite vague.
It's just disappointing that fans couldn't be there, because it would be an amazing away end there right now because of how close Lincoln is.
Be.
And
I'm
obviously
not one who normally does away days. The last away day we did was me, my dad, and my granddad in March 2018. Birmingham away, lost 3-0, freezing cold snow mid-March.
Yeah, I've never been on an away day with Hull City, sadly, but that I would definitely be going down right now. But it's just great to see, and hopefully we come in the title, because we haven't won a trophy since a major trophy since 1966. So
And that
to
was
win
the league.
That was the league. It's the same league we are in now. So every time we ever won a league, it was the third division. So we need to.
Hopefully,
win
history will repeat itself.
Yes, and that year, 1966, Hull City win promotion, and England win the World Cup. So hopefully, England are going to win the Euros this summer. So hopefully, history does repeat itself, as you say.
Hopefully. Regan Fitzpatrick says there's only one Josh McGuinness. There's only one Malik Wilkes. Robbie BCFC says congrats, Joe, up the Tigers. HXO Alex says up the Tigers. Lucas, Richie Smallwood's nephew, says he got promoted from League One in third and second. Now he needs to come third. He needs to come first.
We need to see Smallwood lifting that trophy. We need to see Coyle lifting that trophy. We need. I don't know if you've seen the Harvey Cartwright posted on his Instagram story, the video of everyone celebrating in the dressing room. It's just madness in there, and it's great for the lads, because they went through a terrible run of form leading up to Ipswich, and everyone thought we were out of it. And people were thinking we'd finish us outside the playoffs, and now we're going up. We're going to the Championship, and hopefully Sheffield go down, Sheffield United going down, Grimsby look like they're going down. So it's perfect for Hull City fans right now.
It's looking great, isn't it? It's looking great. In terms of player Instagram stories, we've got Jacob Greaves reposting Brandon Fleming's there. He looks a bit battered and bruised. Yeah. Greavesy also putting City's picture on his Instagram. Here's the Harvey Cartwright video. Let's turn my sound up a little bit.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
And then Malik Wilkes having a little dance.
And we've seen Harry Maguire's posted about Hull City congratulating us, and Tom Huddleston has.
So was Josh Bowler.
Yeah,
David Myers tweeting throughout the game.
Aaron McLean's been getting excited, because obviously Aaron McLean played for both us and Peterborough, so he's probably more happy than anyone.
He's going to be absolutely everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think we need. I think it's basically we need 4 points now to win the title. We got to hope Doncaster put in a good performance against Peterborough on Tuesday, but I'm not going to cross my fingers, because Doncaster are
definitely not.
Doncaster are in the worst form I've seen. The way they've dropped off is astounding, even if they have lost their manager. Like, their manager was put himself in the squad not yesterday, the other week, and I just think when you're doing that, it's a bit off.
It is.
So I'm not expecting anything from Doncaster, but Peterborough still have Lincoln to play, and Lincoln put up a good performance today, so they can definitely put one up against Posh in the next few weeks. But I'm optimistic. But we've got to play two of the most informed teams in the league. We've got to play Wigan and Charlton, and Will Keane's in the form of his life.
He is. We never saw that when he was here, though, did we?
Yeah, they never saw that here, but he's been scoring important goals for us, even when he's not playing for us. So hopefully he doesn't score against us, but he's in some great goal scoring form. So we've got to worry about him next week.
We have. Let's have a look what chat's saying. Come on, City, we are going up. Take my whole life to my cards out. falling in love with you. The Tigers! The Tigers! Even Ben House has been posting. He's been
at the game. He was at the game. I got the notification.
Was he?
Yeah, he was at the game. I got the notification from I don't know if you have Footballogy, but it's an app where people check into games and tell, like, basically just put in what games they've been to, and it gives you, and you can be friends with people, and you get a little notification when people are at games. And I got a notification saying Ben's house has checked into the LNER Community Stadium or whatever. So Ben's been at the game, so he'll be celebrating with obviously the media team, James Fletcher. So good for all of them.
Yes.
Because they've been on this journey as much as the players have, as much as the supporters. The media team have done a great job this season. So, and you got to love what they posted today. Just that we're going to leave. We're going to the Championship, having a little dig at the Super League. So it's all great.
I like that as well. I like that. Also coming into the stream now, we've got Anne Northgraves from the To Hull and Back podcast. And how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Are you?
Oh, brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's one of them days that rivals, I think, the promotion from League One last time. It was a late winner, one we knew was coming, but knew we could have messed up. So cheers on that one.
Cheers. Oh, we got the drinks out. I've got the Moretti. He's got the Fosters. We're going hard at this.
I went for the cheap option.
I won't say what I've been drinking because public platform and I'm underage.
Oh, sad times. He's not been down at Pearson's. The entire population of Hull has been down at Pearson's today.
I know. I wish I could have been there. I live in Leeds, unfortunately, so I had to celebrate. I've
been reporting on a game today, so I couldn't make it. I was a bit disappointed, but we've been celebrating all day, even at the game, not even focusing on the game properly, just watching Hull City.
But yeah, it's been a great day, hasn't it? And what was your assessment of the game?
Oh, it was a weird one, wasn't it? We absolutely dominated. I think the first 35, 40 minutes of it. Lincoln let themselves grow into the game towards the end of the first half. Then came out all guns blazing in the second. We just looked completely unrecognisable in that second 45 minutes. We just couldn't string any passes together. I think losing Honeyman that was probably a big turning point. Wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, it was a strange substitution. I think I would have just done a like for like and swapped him for Crowley. I don't understand why.
That's what I was thinking. I was wondering why he brought on Burke, because obviously Alfie Jones has been doing a great job in centre back.
He has, hasn't he?
Putting him into midfield, that's a big change for him. And
yeah, you're messing with
the chemistry of the side there.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the change itself, so you've took George Honeyman, who is one of our main catalysts for going forward. You've taken him off and added a centre back on. Obviously, he's going to push Jones into the middle, but it was a negative change when
because Crowley's impressed against Fleetwood, so I wouldn't mind him coming on. I don't mind him coming on. He is a drop from Honeyman, I will say, but he's a good asset to have on the pitch. So it's definitely disappointing.
I think he probably had the back of his head that he wanted to try and protect the lead. I think it was a bit early to do that, but
you have the whole second 45 and you're sitting behind the ball. It is quite negative. We don't want to be playing that way, but when you're McCann and you want to get promoted, you've never been promoted as a manager before. You want to protect that, and I completely see why he did it, but it just didn't seem like the right change at the time.
No,
I completely agree. Here's a talking point. But before we get to that, we'll just look at what the rest of chat is saying. Robbie BCFC says that Crowley probably won't be in Bowyer's plans and reckons that we will take Crowley off their hands. Chief Brody, Harrogate Town fan, says, congrats, lads. Thank you very much, Brody, mate.
And congratulations, Harrogate, on staying in the EFL this season. I'm very happy very happy with them about that.
Yeah, it's nice to see them do well.
Yeah, it's a Yorkshire team I don't mind doing well.
The one of very few. Exciting times. Definitely need some good players from the next transfer window. How far are Peterborough off promotion? I believe they secure it on Tuesday. Am I right?
They just need a point from Doncaster on Tuesday, I believe. I've seen. So
and going on Doncaster's form, I don't think that's going to be too tough.
That definitely won't be too tough.
No, that's what I'm saying. Their form's been absolutely dreadful. They did get one win. I can't remember who they won against, but that was a bit of a blip. So we'll see.
Shrewsbury, I think.
Shrewsbury,
I was chatting on another stream about the Super League to Aaron, Forever Football, Doncaster FC. I think we both know him, Ant.
Yeah, we do. I think I jumped on it after you.
He says that when we were talking about if Big Six get moved down and they just promote like that, he says if Doncaster, that win against Shrewsbury gives us a bit of momentum, we could get sixth. I thought maybe after today.
I think the teams in the playoff spots right now, they're going to stay in there. I think Oxford are on good form. Charlton are in good form. I can't see any of those positions shifting. I can't see anybody dropping out. But
no, can I?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Need to win the league now, and there's another comment a little bit further up as well, saying might as well just give us the title now.
Yeah,
that's what we played for next, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got to play for the title now, and but like I said, we're playing the two most informed teams in the league. We're playing Wigan and Charlton, and Wigan. I think Wigan they still need a few more points to secure that they're staying in the league, so they're still going to be fighting against us. And like I said, Will Keane's in the goal scoring form of his life, so
he'll score against us.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. He'll score against us, but hopefully Adkins can do it.
I really hope he does not.
We need a performance like we gave at the DW. We need a Wilkes hat trick. We need something. We need some spark to take us to that title.
Because it's going to be a difficult game. I've said on numerous occasions that the new ownership has given them a new lease of life.
And we need to, but the thing is, because we're now promoted, we can play with a bit of freedom. We can play more creatively. We can take more risks because no matter what happens, we're going up. Obviously, we want the title, but the promotion means more.
I mean, I was more concerned about the Wigan game than I was the Lincoln game today.
Yeah,
I think their form and the teams that the goal scoring form, especially that they've shown in the last few games, was been quite concerning because we're starting to pick up a bit of niggles at the back. I think a couple of players are on the brink of injury.
When Greaves went down today, my heart was in my mouth. I was like, I was sat there in my living room with my head in my hands, like, oh no.
We'd have had Beck to bring on. It would have been the end of the world, I suppose. It's been a shame because obviously you'd want him to see out the season, and I want him to score before the season ends. So
do
hopefully he does that against Charlton.
I would say if he doesn't score, if he didn't score today, he's never scoring because I just wanted him to score that goal that sent us up. But
I've spoken to Jacob Greaves before. I've interviewed him and whatever, and he's such a lovely lad. And when that goal got taken off him against Doncaster, I'd sent him a message like, "Get in, Jacob." Even though not the result we wanted, it was good for you to get your goal. 3 days later, the goal was taken off him.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. He's just never going to score. I think that's just going to be what's going to happen with Jacob Greaves. He's just going to be so close, but it's just going to keep being taken off him.
Yeah, it's weird to be criticising a defender for his scoring ability, isn't it? When he's been so great at the back.
He's so great at the back, but every time I just watch him do a header, I'm just like, oh, Greaves, you need to do.
But he gets himself in such good positions as well.
Yeah, he's so great. He's so great to get himself in. But I think he said him and Cliff Byrne are always working on headers, but they have to worry because they're worried about Greaves. The danger that headers can do in the long term, like we've seen. So I think it's just a bit of anxiety, a bit of nervousness around it. But he just needs to I think he closes his eyes when he tries to head a ball, and that's what's wrong.
That miss against Gillingham was terrible.
Oh God, don't talk about that.
And I'm glad
that hasn't cost us now.
When McCann said in the week following it that he had to give Greaves a little pep talk and just because he was so down about it, that just shows that Greaves really cares.
Yeah,
he's a local lad, doesn't he? He knows he's carrying forward his dad's legacy as well, and he's grew up in the area, so he probably holds a bit more hunger and desire than most to do well, and probably takes it more to heart when he misses chances like he did against Gillingham. I can imagine he was probably killing himself. Not killing himself. Jesus, that was tearing himself to pieces later on in that night. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
It's just great to see how many Hull lads are in the squad. Just and then just like how much this is going to mean to those players, how much it's going to mean to Coyle and Greaves and King Lewis Potter and even just the youth players in there. Ahmed Salam has contributed to this. Andy Smith's contributed to the season. So just a lot of local lads who just want to do well for the team.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And when you look at all the players we've got coming through as well,
I've never been as excited about a youth team, a Hull City youth team, as I have been in the past year or so. Just the amount of players going through in the under 18.
I've been on another podcast and said about the only shining light from relegation last season probably is the fact that the majority of these players I don't think would have played this season if we'd have stayed up.
Definitely not.
KLP probably might have still been a bit part player, but I couldn't have seen Greaves starting. I couldn't have seen, we probably wouldn't have signed Coyle. That just things like that. I think that.
Yeah.
And then the only positive we could probably get from the Alams recently is that their investment in the youth academy has obviously come up trumps because we've got a lot of good players coming through that.
Paulie Snellgrove looks like a real talent in there, and Harvey Cartwright's impressed every time I've seen him. And Ahmed Salam, obviously, I think Ahmed Salam's going to play a bigger part next season. So it's just great to see the amount of players we're going to have coming through. And even if they don't play for us, they're going to have good careers elsewhere, which we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of Hull players that they leave Hull and they've been their only options. They feel they can go to North Ferriby or they can play Bridlington. They don't feel like they can go any higher. So it's just great to see football league level talent coming through the youth teams.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And think how much players like Greaves, like Lewis Potter, could all kick on. Because if we didn't go up this season, without a doubt, we'd have lost Greaves. Maybe Lewis Potter. Well, most definitely Lewis Potter. Maybe Wilkes as well.
Yeah, and the team to be honest, I think we're still going to struggle to keep some players this season. I could see a few big players leaving. I can see many people coming after Honeyman. I can see people coming after Doherty. It's just whether we can keep these players in. Because they want to be playing. We want them playing for Hull City, and we want to put down, especially Alfie Jones. We want to extend his contract. I don't know.
We want to tie him down for life.
Already. Yeah, because we've got that 1 year extension in our favour, and we haven't executed it yet, which I'm really surprised about. We need to do that soon.
I think the only reason we didn't execute that was because he was probably. I think we were holding out for promotion. I think it's the same thing with Max Clark. We signed him to the end of the season. I imagine that their deals were signed for us for a year. If we go up, obviously you'll get an improved deal. If we don't go up, then obviously you're free to go to somewhere bigger. I think is the logic behind that one.
Max Clark's obviously the interesting one. He's not played. He did play against Bristol City under 23s during the week.
As did Brandon Fleming, which was nice to see. Jordan Flores in there as well.
Yeah, Jordan Flores. Yeah, we got some great depth in the squad, even if many of them aren't playing that often. Sean McLaughlin, I'm really glad we've got him down to a 5 year because he's always a great backup to have. I don't think
he is. Whenever he plays, he always looks assertive, doesn't he?
Well, he's amazing. He's always great coming off the bench. He's great stability in the side. I know some people don't really rate him, but every time I've seen, the thing is, earlier in the season he was being played out of position. He's being played at left back, but when he gets put in that centre back position, he knows well. He just does. He's a great piece of stability in the side.
Going back onto the players that we could or could not lose, I actually think that we'll keep hold of most of them, and that's only because we've had them for 1 year. My logic behind players like Malik Wilkes, King Lewis Potter, is that big clubs will go in for them, but they'll be watching them. They'll want to see progression. They'll want to see consistency. Like they did with Bowen. We expected to lose Bowen fast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They want to see that player get better each year. There's no point in signing a youngster straight away because if they don't play more league games and they don't progress, then it's just been a waste of a signing. So they tend to, I've some scouts watching them regularly and being like, right, is he improved his end product? Can he square the ball when he needs to? Because I think the big thing with Wilkes is he's absolutely phenomenal.
We saw,
but his end product can be a bit questionable at times. Like his decision making is a bit poor.
We saw today he beat 3-4 players who were all trying to get the ball on him at once, and then from 20-25 yards, needlessly tried to go for goal and absolutely
slapped a grass cutter across the floor. Yeah.
So it's It's that sort of thing. Exactly what you said that scouts of bigger sides will be looking for. But hopefully we can.
Yeah, the thing is,
their progression. Hopefully we can match that as a club, and just maybe slowly but surely keep climbing our way up the championship.
It's like I think Burnsy was saying on Radio Humberside today. He said there were a lot of scouts at the ground today. There were a lot of scouts. So they'll be looking at players. Obviously, they'll be looking at Lincoln players. They'll be looking at George Grant, but they'll be looking at our players. They'll want to take them. They'll want to strike while the iron's hot, while they're in this amazing form. But we've got to hold them down. I don't know how long Wilkes has on his contract or players like that, but we've got to keep it. They'll want to keep playing in this squad. They believe in this manager. They believe in the way this club is going, and we've got to bring that momentum into next season.
Let me have a little look. I'll just see if I can look at. I'm just looking at transfer market right now to see if I've got any.
I think we'll also be all right with Honeyman, purely on the basis that when he played in the Championship last season, he was nowhere near as good as he was this season. So I'm thinking clubs will want to see if he's as effective next year as he has been this year.
Yeah.
They're always going to want to see his player get better.
We might see. I think the more worry with Honeyman will be next January, definitely. Because
if he's replicating the similar form, then
we saw last season, didn't we, that after the lockdown, Honeyman kicked on a lot more, and this season he's come on absolutely leaps and bounds. So they'll be hoping that he shows that after lockdown, even though we went down sort of form, and will to never give up and not just run about like a headless chicken, actually be effective like he's done this season.
And Greg Dockett is probably the biggest worry I have about losing, because he's just brilliant. I think he's easily top half of the Championship, lower half Premier League player. He's just absolutely phenomenal.
The way he just picks the ball up from anywhere and can run after the pitch is phenomenal.
Yeah, just Rangers fans were raging when we signed him, because we got him on. I think we got him for 400k, which is just ridiculously cheap for a player of his quality, especially even in League One. Yeah, just the player is the way he's just such an engine. The way he runs half the field. Sometimes he can be a bit selfish. He can just strike for himself, but when he gets that pass on, he's just a wonderful player to have. Any team in the Championship will want him, but we've got to keep hold of him.
We have. On the Malik Wilkes contract front, I'll share my screen for it and see if this works.
That doesn't crash the stream like I was on here last time.
Yeah. Like what happened last time me and you were on a stream last time. So this season out of contract, we've got McGuinness, Clark, Burt, Jones, Fleming. Of those, who do you see us keeping?
Malik Wilkes next season.
I think getting promoted puts us in a good position to retrieve any player that we want to retrieve, really.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can see us getting rid of one of Clark or Fleming, though.
I don't know, because I think Clark will be needed as backup to Elder, and I'd like to see us send Fleming out on loan.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And as much as it'd break Riley's heart, I can see us getting rid of one of McGuinness or Eves, and I can see it more likely being McGuinness.
We won't get rid of McGuinness.
No, not McGuinness. Sorry, Eves. My God.
I think we will.
Wow.
Yeah. McGuinness is going to be an interesting one next season, because we want to see if he can carry the form he's been in this season. I think that's 5 goals in 6 games that he's got. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous for a player who's had very poor goal scoring form for the rest of his career. To have the goal scoring form he's had, to score the goals he's had, that I don't know if you remember that thunder strike he had against MK Dons earlier in the season, where he just rockets it into power to net. He's a proper striker that you want, especially at this lower level. It'll be good to see if you can replicate that in the Championship.
Yeah. The more you watch McGuinness this season, the more you wonder why he was the second choice behind Eves last season.
You do. I mean, last season, from my perspective, even though Eve's got more goals, as a team, we were more complete with McGuinness in there.
Yeah, even if McGuinness wasn't scoring the goals, he was breaking up play. He was the powerhouse in front that you want, because he was the best striker to have with Grzycki and Bowens on either side of the wing, because he created that space for Bowen to cut inside. So
yeah, McGuinness is crucial to this system.
Yeah, if we can play a similar style next season where Wilkes is cutting in, where Keelan's Poro cutting in, and McGuinness is breaking up the play, I think we'll be successful. I think the side we have now, if you bring in morale and you bring in the individual quality, the brilliance that some players can bring, I think this is better than the side we had in the after lockdown.
I agree.
Championship. So I think this side could easily be comfortable staying up. But if we want to push for higher up that table, I think we do need some security in either the forwards or bringing a new centre back, maybe bringing a new goalkeeper. Because I'm not too confident with either. I think Ingram is great at League One. I think Long can be great at League One. But if they're not up to the quality that we can see this season, and they weren't that great last season,
Ingram got very few games, didn't he? Against Luton, I thought he could have saved.
Yeah, against Luton, he did very. I think that was his only game in the league.
It was. I thought he could have done better with a goal, but on the whole, he was all right. Long, we saw. I mean, the Chelsea game proves that he's a fantastic goalkeeper, but he was part of the worst defense statistically.
He had the worst. I think he had the worst save percentage of any keeper in the league. But I think that,
because having watched him, you wouldn't think that, because he made some fantastic saves.
Yeah, I think it was more just he had a very poor defense, but he had a very ragtag defense in front of him of Matthew Pennington, a very inexperienced Sean McLaughlin. So I think that maybe contributed to it. And we didn't have a right back in that.
We didn't, did we?
Play Leo Lopez at right back, and he did an all right job, but he's not a right back.
He's not a right back at all, is he?
Ingram gives me more confidence than George Long does. I would much rather have Ingram too.
Ingram's a proper traditional goalkeeper. When he's in the saves he made against Sunderland the other day,
he's made a few, to be fair. In the recent games, when big saves, when we've not really had that many shots against us, he's always been alert and made a couple of good saves that have been probably just as important as a goal at the other end.
I think the only real poor performance he's had was against Fleetwood earlier in the season away. He made mistakes there, but over the entire of the season, he's been very consistent. But I think
the whole team had a bad game at Fleetwood, though, didn't they?
Have you seen that Harvey Saunders that ripped us apart that game? He's gone on loan to Hartlepool in the National League.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. He tore our team apart.
Wow. But yeah, for me, Long, I think, commands his box a little bit more, whether it's just because he's a little bit louder. I don't know. But Ingram, for me, is a safer pair of hands. That save he made against Sunderland, Long wouldn't do that. I think there was one against Doncaster.
One against Crewe as well. He made a very good save against Crewe, I believe.
I want to say hi.
Hey!
New guest.
City. No, you can't sit there and say nothing.
She's not respecting the title. She's not respecting the promotion enough.
she's probably going to be end up a Leeds fan. That's why.
Oh, that's sad.
That's
sad existence there.
Yeah.
But what we're hoping is we can when the restrictions are lessened, we can get that open top bus parade. We can get the players standing at Hull City Hall. We can be there. We can see the players celebrating in person. But I'm jealous of the people who are at the cake today, just going mental, just having a good time. But I'll be doing that at home right now. So all's good.
I was running about my living room like an absolute nutter.
Yeah, but I was in the car when the game finished, so I was just like, I couldn't celebrate in the way I wanted to. I had a dog on my lap, and my dad was right. I couldn't scream. I was just getting the notification that the game was over. We're up.
I spilt my beer when Wilkes scored the penalty.
Yeah, I think
So I had euphoria mixed with heartbreak at the same time.
Wilkes we just need to say how calm that penalty Wilkes has to be under that pressure, knowing that if you score, you're sending your team up, and if you miss, that's a big disappointment. To be that calm, to slot it that calmly into the back of the net is you have to. That's a very good respect because
it was a very brave thing to do. I actually didn't have that much faith in him, to be fair. I thought
even though I don't think Wilkes missed. I don't think we've missed a penalty that we've had this season, unless you count penalty shootouts, obviously. But I will always want McGuinness taking it because McGuinness is just cool as you like taking a penalty. You can power it as hard as you like and hit it on target. It's just it's a good skill to have as many good penalty takers as we have.
I mean, we saw against Leeds when the penalty shootout went on forever in the Carabao Cup that we have a lot of quality in the penalty taking department.
Even the defenders, they can put up a good penalty.
Alfie Jones's penalty was it Alfie Jones or Callum Elder?
Alfie Jones scored the winning penalty against Leeds, I believe, and I think that might have been his first start for City.
Leicester ones
might have been actually.
Yeah. I forget.
Yeah, because we had Device playing, didn't we?
The sooner we forget about we ever played a youth team get that out of memory. Just forget that. I don't want to ever remember that we ever played Leicester's youth side and lost.
But
it's a weird trophy though, that isn't it? Let's be honest.
To be honest, that's probably the only disappointment of the season that we didn't go further in the Papa John's, but obviously that doesn't mean as much as promotion. And if you can't,
when you compare it to what we've got today,
and if you can't play at Wembley in front of fans, it doesn't mean as much. But promotion will always mean as much because it's always something you can look back on. And I
know the vast majority of City fans weren't actually bothered about that trophy, but if we were going to come down here and get promoted straight away, I'd rather have us won the league and won the Papa John's trophy because we're not going to be.
I think it was just like it's called the Papa John's trophy. It's a bit of a laugh.
It's a joke tournament. It's a joke tournament. We still want to win it.
We still want it, and it's just. I think it's just the fact that we were hoping we'd get promoted and we might never get to play it again. So just like being in that competition is nice. And it meant we got to play Harrogate, we got to play Grimsby, we got to play these sides we don't normally get to play. So
definitely, it was a great experience. Just sat watching it at home, and my videos got sent about the teachers group chat at school. So I made like rubbish pizza jokes. I was just walking through school and teachers.
All my friends were planning. We were all like, "Oh, where's the Papa John's in Hull? Oh, there's one in Anley.
There's one right near the K-Com.
There's one right next to the K-Com." So we were like, "Yes, that's where we're gonna go." But sadly, they didn't come to fruition. But we're going up. We're gonna get that. We can have as much pizza as we like. So it's just exciting times because Hull City, we're not a team that wins trophies. And if we can get this league title, that's great. That's something we can remember, and we can watch. It just like because obviously we haven't. My dad was born the year that Hull City last won a trophy, 1966. So if we can get it now, that's just That's just a great thing for the city as a whole because you don't get to see that very often.
Yeah, I mean the times. I mean, I started watching City in 1999. 2000 season. So from what I've seen of us do in the promotions that we've had, we've always finished them last 3 or 4 games poorly when we've been in a position to win the title like we did in League One last time or League Two. And then even the 07-08 season when we went up under Brownie, we had a chance at the top 2 and ended up settling for the playoffs. I think that loss at Ipswich sailed it, didn't it? And so it would be nice to actually finish the season strongly for once.
Yeah, it's just I'm looking at the photo of all the players holding the flags, and you got everybody there. You got Thomas Myers there, James Scott's there. You got Andy Smith in the background. You've got Festus Arthur there.
They're all there, and they're
all there. People care about this. It's just.
Have you seen the video of it?
I've seen
that right Insta.
I've seen Harvey Cartwright's video. And
Wilkes ended up dancing like in front of them all. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I've loved Cliff Burns' little dance as we were celebrating. Cliff Burns.
With his shorts on.
With his shorts on.
These shorts.
We need to find a way if we can ask the club. Can I sponsor Cliff Burns shorts because they're the most iconic part of the team.
It's got shorts plastered in advertising labels.
Yeah, on my Twitter, my header is the photo of McCann holding his Manager of the Month trophy in the snow, and Cliff Burns there. Just a wonderful picture. And I didn't really like Cliff Burns that much last season. I thought he was a bit strange of a coach. I thought I don't know if he was responsible for the set pieces that we were doing. That poorness is there, but the way our players have structured now, we've been very our best point of attack has always been set pieces this season. That the amount of free kicks we've scored for.
I mean, you look at the way Honeyman and Elder have clocked up. I think 23 league assists between them. Majority of them from set pieces.
And the thing is, and then you got Honeyman is probably. I think Honeyman's created 15 or so more chances than anybody else in this league. So, yeah, just the amount of chances we're creating is astounding, and that's what you want. You want people creating chances, and it's great if you can just score from a few. You're very clinical. You get a few, one or two chances, and you score them. But if you're going into a higher division, you want players that can create a lot of chances because your players aren't going to score that many.
Set pieces, I think, are crucial. If you want to stay in a league or you want to get promoted, set pieces are a must.
Yeah.
Last season, when Bowen and Grzycki were taking the corners, me and who I sat with, there was me, my dad, my granddad, and another lad and his granddad, Lewis. Great lad, a little bit older than me. We used to play a game of we always used to say when there was a corner, will it get past the first man this time? And
we were poor at corners.
We were shocking, weren't we?
Yeah, I was just. What was it? It's just I think the championship is going to be. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but it won't be as tough as the last time we were in there because the teams we were struggling against, Leeds and stuff, have already gone up and they're not coming back down. And then the teams coming up from the championship, Norwich, Watford, and probably either Bournemouth, Brentford, those sort of sides, they're ridiculously tough and they're going up. And the teams coming down from the Premier League. It's going to look like Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United. Those aren't very strong sides.
Nice away days in there.
Nice away days. Sheffield United look like a side that's going to be torn apart this summer. They're going to lose a lot of players to raise some funds.
Aren't they? When you look at
West Brom and Fulham, Fulham have a lot of players on loan, so they'll all leave. So they won't be as tough. I think it's going to be a very competitive season next season.
It will be, and it's going to be very interesting to see. This comment, we're going back about half an hour here. Before we get to it, though, we'll just look through what people have said in chat. Regan Fitzpatrick says, we're Hull City and we are going up. Birmingham fan Robbie says, can't wait to play next season and hopefully a very good season for us. Need to win the league now. Come on, City. Bring back Huddleston. We are massive. Has Crowley done a good job for you or has he not played enough for you to base him on? We'll have a look at that in a moment. I look forward to you playing us next season at Luton. Congrats. This promotion feels like it's our first time being in the Championship. We need Josh Windass and Fraser Campbell. We need a winger. I do believe that we'll do well next season if we keep a lot of players. They'll definitely want to prove themselves. Well, domination next. I like that. Yeah. Wearing the same City shirt I wore when we got relegated. How times have changed.
Oh God, I remember where I was when we got relegated. I was in Wetherspoons. I was like, I do not care at this point. I don't care about Hull City. We're going down. I don't care. But I'm just so back invested in it. And I know that sounds like such a plastic thing to say, oh, I'm more invested because we're winning. But that's how you do feel as a football fan. You want your team to win and you get more invested. I don't want to be losing every week like we were. I want to be like what I was when we beat Middlesbrough last season, just absolutely around the wall crazy. That's how I feel right now. Even though we still went down anyway, I still felt great about that. So I'm just really happy to.
Absolutely. Back onto the chat. I'd rather have Keane Lewis Potter up top and get a winger. How do we lose Lewis Potter? Can you celebrate next weekend by giving us a point of 3? No,
we're gonna win all our games. We'll win all our games now.
Deserves to be back up in the Championship. That wasn't supposed to be in question. Yeah, we definitely do. From in my eyes.
To be honest, can I just say we've lost 10 games this season. Not many times do you get a team that's been promoted with 10 losses. I think we've got to keep that in mind. We've lost 10 games this season. We're basically just being promoted off the back of Peterborough and Sunderland have drawn a lot of games. So I think Sunderland, it's some crazy number. They've drawn 14, 15 games this season, and they could very easily be above us right now. We got to know why we lost those games. We struggled a lot. We were playing long ball. They weren't working. We had a lot of players out injured. So we got to work out why we lost those games and take that into next season.
Absolutely. We've got latest Joe and fellow Hull fans. Great day. Looking forward to be back at the KCOM. I was there today. There was separate car parks for COVID vaccinations and everything like that.
Yeah.
And actually going into the shops, and it was just so strange to walk past my entrance and just to be a massive bottle of hand sanitizer there. That's not how I remember it. That's the gate that I want to come through.
It's because I'm going to uni in September. I want to get a few Hull City games. I want to see this side. There'll be some players that we'll never ever get to see in person. Like they sign this season and then they leave.
We never saw Adelican.
No, Adelican. That's what I was going to. He must be the first Hull City player that no fan has ever seen play.
Yeah.
So that's a bit. So there's going to be a few players that we probably won't get to see, like Regan Slater maybe. Regan Slater is out of contract, I think, with Sheffield United, and I've been very impressed. I will admit I was one of his biggest critics when he was playing earlier in the season. I didn't know what he brought to the team. I didn't think he was a bad player per se, but I thought I don't know what he does. But the way he's played the past few games, that ball he gave to Wilkes against Sunderland to contribute to Josh McGuinness's first goal was astounding. I'd be happy if we went after him because we need that backup in midfield.
We do.
Yeah, he's far better as that defensive midfielder. I think we played him at the beginning of the season, like we used to sub him on for Honeyman or Doherty, and he don't do that role. He can't do it. So when obviously we lost Smallwood and Jones went in there, then obviously we lost Beck, and so we dropped Jones back and put Slater in. We've seen him play his natural position, and he's looked far better at it. If anything, he's slightly more mobile than the other two. He's just, he's a little less physical than the other two. So it'd definitely be okay to play his backup. I'd have him on a free, absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of players that we've had on loan this season and we've still got on loan now in the past as well that we definitely take back. Josh Bowler was tweeting about the celebrations today. Would you take him back?
I think I'd rather have Gavin White.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree on that.
But I have seen a lot of Cardiff fans wanting him back. I think a lot of Cardiff fans will think he will do well under McCarthy. So I'm sure we have
an option to buy if we want in summer.
We will. I think I'll say we'll definitely get one of Crowley or White in. I think one of them's definitely going to come in, but I'm not sure whether we'll get both. But I'd be happy to with both. White's done well. He's scored a lot of goals. He's gotten a lot of assists, and he's done well off the bench. He's been a very good. Like if KLP's not getting the goals in, he's looking a bit frustrated, like he did against Sunderland, like bringing players down. White's a good level head to bring on because he's experienced at this level. He's played well for Oxford at this level.
I mean, we saw today when Lewis Potter came off, Crowley and White came on. They were causing problems straight away, the two of them, and Lincoln had to bring on Liam Bridcut to deal with the threat of Crowley, so then he couldn't move the ball off to one of White, Eves.
I really like Gavin White. I like his style of play. I think he's completely different to the other two that we've got. In KLP and Wilkes, if either one of them are not firing in that game, then he's the one that I look to bring on every single time because I just think he's another one of those that just gets the ball and runs directly at the defenders. We need that kind of service off the wing because when you've got the likes of McGuinness who likes to just stay in the middle, and you've got your fullbacks overlapping on the side when one of your wingers cuts inside, it just causes so much issues for him. And I think White does that more effective than any other backup wingers we've had. I think Adelican was good, but I don't know, he was too inconsistent for me. I don't know if it was because he was, he'd not played a lot of football before coming to us. But I would prefer White to Adelican, but I wouldn't mind taking them both as thingy and sending Scott out on loan.
I agree on that point. I've got a video coming out soon about potential signings in the transfer window or whatever. You mentioned Brandon Fleming out on loan. James Scott's another one who you've just mentioned. Scott's he's lacked games this season, hasn't he? But when he has played in the league, especially, he's lacked that confidence. So I think sending him out to a League One club, maybe at the top end, would be a brilliant move for him.
I think I'd like sending him out loan to Motherwell, like back to Motherwell or back in Scotland would be great for him. Be back home, get that confidence back, and bring it back to the Championship. And we've got to remember we'll be getting some money in. Device is most likely going to leave. Samuelson's most likely going to leave. We're going to get some money from that. We're going to get some money to spend, and we're still getting that Bowen money through. So
we are, aren't we?
And I think I don't know if I'm right on this, but I believe there is a clause in Bowen's contract that we get a bit of money where if West Ham were to stay up this season, and they've most definitely have stayed up this season.
So they've already sealed it, haven't they?
Yeah, they're almost in the Champions League places, so we're getting a bit of money off that. So, we're gonna have some money in the kitty. It's just whether we want to spend it. And there has been some rumors flying about the past few weeks about I think Kyle Dempsey from Gillingham.
I would really like us to get Dempsey.
We were after him in the summer, weren't we?
I'd rather sign Dempsey than I would Dan Crowley.
Yeah, I haven't. And then I can't remember his name, the Morecambe winger. We've been linked with him. I've seen a few people say, I think he's Portuguese or Spanish. I'm not too sure. I know
Gomez or something.
Yeah, I've seen people say, he's in League Two. We don't want to be signing League bottom half. But he's got very good stats. He's been getting a lot of goal contributions for Morecambe, who were like a good side, near the top of the table. And he's a former I think Football Focus did a documentary style thing on him, and he was a Atletico Madrid youth prospect, and he had to move back to England to help his family or something. So he's did really well with Atletico Madrid. So he's got that talent behind him, and I wouldn't mind seeing him coming in to shore up the winger spaces because obviously we'll be losing Samuelson. So we need some backup. So he'd be a good person to bring in. He'd be that sort of pacey, sort of flary winger that we need. Because we've got we got the wingers who can run at defenses and get a few goals off, but we don't really have the wingers who can show off any individual, proper individual skills. So if we can bring that into the side, then that only helps us.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the players that we've got in the front line. We look at Wilkes, Lewis Potter, McGuinness. We've got White in there as well on loan, some backup like a Gavin White who can just come off the bench in each of those positions and will always make an impact in each of those positions would be great. And that's why I think that Eves may just be on his way out. Sorry, Riley.
Yeah, I do love Eves. I think Eves is a good player. I don't see why Eves gets as much of the hate as he does.
I don't understand it. I mean, Tom Eves is.
I think he's just an easy target for a lot of fans because obviously our fans, some of our fans are a bit deluded. They want a 30-goal a season striker. You're not going to get that at League Two. The only player who can do that is Johnson Clark-Harris, and he's had to rely on a lot of penalties this season to get to that number. So you're not going to get that out of it. I think Eves, when brought on, has shown some good shows of talent. He did I think the best showing of that was against Ipswich when he came on, and him and James Scott linking up to get that goal. So I know he's offside a lot. I know he can be a bit of a fool. He can miss a few chances, but when he's on the pitch, he does do well. He does his job well. He knows his job.
He's got a good goals per game record, hasn't he?
Yeah, goals per minute record is. I think after the Doncaster game, he was top of that chart. I'm not sure where he is now because obviously he hasn't played many minutes now.
He's been injured, and when he scored against Gillingham though, didn't he? But he played about 70 minutes in that game, so that'll have hurt that stat a little bit.
Yeah, it's just.
Right, I'm going to jump off, guys.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming on, Ant. It's been a pleasure.
See you later. Up the Tigers.
Up the Tigers.
Up the Tigers.
See you later, mate. In Ant's place, we'll bring on Doncaster fan Aaron. He was on the stream the other night. How are you, Aaron?
You really want me to answer that after today's result? You really want me to answer that? That just showed what we need at this club. Rebuild, new players, new staff, new manager. And if the board don't want to back us, get out.
Yeah, you are in a transition period at Doncaster, and obviously you've lost your manager, you lost a few players, and you've had to play the awful gold kit. So it is a transition period for you guys. It is like disappointing.
No one just tried. No one put an ounce of passion for this badge in the shirt. And what a surprise! Same thing for the last month or two now. The people that aren't trying are people that are out of contract or people at parent clubs with their nice little 30,000 capacity stadiums and their Premier League position. You know, they'll go back, they'll go and nurture their talent in their youth academy again, and they don't give two flying ones about us.
Yeah,
we are in an interesting situation because if we don't make the right manager, if we don't bring in the right players, if we don't get contracts sorted and just let our players walk for free again, and if this new manager only stays for 2 years, despite the board saying in their club statement they'll keep a manager long term instead of letting what's happened to the last two managers go, then I'm sorry, but the board have gone back on their word, which means, in essence, get out of my club.
Yeah, it's like you're in a similar position we were last season. Like you say, a lot of loan players, a lot of players running out of contract. They don't want to put in the effort they want to put into the club. And you've seen how we've done this season, how you can move on from that if you got a manager who wants to bring in players, the investment is there that you can reach up to the top of the table. And Doncaster have shown that at points in the season. You've put in some very good results.
I was scared looking earlier in this season, but then because you were right there, and I was expecting you to mount a challenge for top two, but then Darren Moore left, and it just fell apart for you.
Yeah, League One's going to be a tough season next season because you've got teams like we're expecting Wickham. Let's say the bottom three right now go down of the Championship. Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, and Wickham. Those are three sides that have a lot of investment behind them. They've got philosophies behind them. Wickham's got a philosophy behind them. Rotherham are renowned for yo-yoing between League One and the Championship, and Sheffield Wednesday, maybe they might struggle next season because obviously they're in a transition period themselves. But they've got obviously Darren Moore in charge. He's a manager who can take a team.
Don't even mention that guy's name.
Yeah.
Don't even mention that.
It's sad.
I wish him the best of luck in his COVID recovery, but do not mention that guy's name.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's and then you got potentially Bolton coming up from League Two, and they've got a lot of money behind them. We've seen because they were near the bottom in January, and they've put a lot of money in. They've bought a lot of players.
And Marcus Maddison.
And Marcus.
We've got Cambridge. We've got Cambridge United next season.
Oh yeah, Cambridge United going, and probably like Cheltenham or Forest Green coming up. Forest Green have a lot of money behind them, so League One's going to be really tough next season. So I'm really glad we're out of it now.
Yeah, I don't know. The turnaround for our club has been absolutely disgraceful. It's been shambolic. It's been absolutely pathetic. You got people there that are on loan from clubs like Brighton and Arsenal and Brentford, teams like that higher up that just don't care. They just want to go there, get a bit of game time, get a bit of first team football, get a bit of development under them, and just leave just to further their careers. And you know what the big Achilles heel is the fact that when Grant McCann walked away from Doncaster Rovers 3 years ago, he left us with 6, 7 contracted professionals. Rest of them walked.
Wow.
Whether it was loans or whether it was people out of contract, we were left with 6, 7 players. And Darren Moore had to literally come in and rebuild this squad over a 2-year period. And what does he do? egos as well. We were in a transition period 2 years ago, and now we've had to transition again, and now we've got to transition again. When are people, and I say this with confidence now, and if this happens again under a new manager, I'll say this. When do we look and say, hang on a minute, McCann walked during a transition period, Moore walked during a transition period. In 2 years' time, if this manager walks during a transition period, how long will it be now before people start opening their eyes and seeing, hang on a minute, that's now 3 managers walking during a project. Who's the big common denominator? The board, the chairman, the chief executive. Yeah, the chief executive, the chairman. And don't forget, this is why this is the most important summer for this club, because we've got right appointment. Because this summer we're going to get a brand new manager, a brand new talent and identification manager, because our old one's gone to Aston Villa. Yeah, funnily enough, fair play. But if we don't bring in the right appointments and they appoint someone that's got League Two mentality, you know what the board's ambitions are. And I've had Rovers fans message me saying, well, I've got inside source that the board are just happy staying in the top 10 in League One. Well, we're outside the top 10. We're in 13th.
Not even in there.
We could finish below Burton Albion, and they were bottom at Christmas, and we were third. We were third. They were bottom, and we could finish below Burton
Is that still
Albion.
Mathematically possible? My lord.
That is still it is still mathematically possible. We were third and Burton were bottom at Christmas.
Yeah.
In fact, no, screw that. We could have been first if we beat Shrewsbury when we lost 1-0. We could have been top of the league with our game in hand. And
Burton could finish 2 points ahead of you if they.
And now Burton could finish above us. That is a disgrace for where this club's come from. That is a disgrace.
The thing is,
disgrace.
The history of Doncaster is like the past 30 years of Doncaster Rovers.
I was watching a video from HITC Sevens the other day.
That video. That was a great video.
Robinson burning your stadium down.
Richardson.
That's it.
Even though I wasn't born those times, Doncaster Rovers is in my blood. So once I read something about it, the feeling starts to, rest itself in my soul. Like it feels like I was there at the time, even though I wasn't. When you read about it and you see it, you feel it.
Yeah, it's like Doncaster went on that great run going up to the Championship in 2008, and to go where they are now is disappointing. John Ryan couldn't put any more money into this club. He could do all he could. So he decided, you know what? I can't put any more in, even though I want to. I'll step down and for the great of the club, and I'll see who can take us further. What happens? Well, we had a failed takeover bid in 2013-2014 from the combination of 1D's Louis Tomlinson and John Ryan. John Ryan and Louis Tomlinson were going to go for a share takeover. That bid failed. So you bring in David Blunt, who is our current chairman, who's been current chairman since 2014. He owned Keepmoat Homes. Homes didn't know nothing about football. The chief executive, Gavin Baldwin, ran the Dome, which is an activity centre and indoor water park. Know nothing about football. The only board members that knew anything about football were Watson and Bramall. They're the only two people because they were there when John Ryan was there. They were part of the dynasty that got us where we were in those John Ryan years. Since Blunt stepped into Rovers, we went from Championship to League Two in the space of 3 years. We only got back up to League One, ready for that 2017-2018 season. And what happened that year? That was the year that Grant McCann came in and took us to the playoffs and then left.
And then
jumped ship because he left all the professionals out of contract, gave us only 6 or 7 players left. Board didn't back him as much as we wanted to. They didn't give him a proper budget, and Grant McCann walked. Darren Moore brings in 7 loanees this season, brings in 3 contracts, sells Whiteman, arguably our best player, to the Championship. Yeah, and I know people say, well, Whiteman deserves the Championship. Well, look what's happened since he's left. We've collapsed. He's only scored his first goal for Preston last week. That was his first goal since he went. He was meant to go there to thrive and develop at a Preston side, and Preston season's collapsed as well. So every decision the board has made since they've stepped into this club, since John Ryan stepped down and the current regime has stepped in, has been wrong. Next season is the final straw. If they don't make the right appointment and we're fighting relegation in League One and we go down, if we go down, I'll say it straight away, first of all, if we go down to League Two or we're fighting a struggle mid-table to relegation next season, sorry, I don't care if the club watch my videos, board need to go. Board need to go.
Yeah,
and someone with a bit of balls and passion step into this club and take us to the heights of the Championship again.
Yeah, it's just I'm optimistic because obviously promotion puts you in a good spot. Your club looks really good. I'm hoping that we can get a sale out of it. I know that's very optimistic. I know
Yes.
the club looks really good. Like, you're a team coming up. There's a lot of passion behind you. The fan base is happy. That's attractive to investors. We want to get a sale through, but I don't know whether they want to keep a hold of us.
I'm sure we're trying to attract people to our club that might be interested to take us that one step further. Like we're a community club, we're a family club. Family's at the heart of what we do. We always care about the community. We always do things for the local community. We get the players involved. We get junior mascots involved. We get Rovers mascots involved. We have Donny Dog walking around the bloody pitch. We get the whole community involved.
Yeah,
we're a community family club at the heart of the city, at the heart of the town. And if David Blunt does not care enough to invest in this club, to make us bigger, to do better for the community, then I'm sorry, then you need to go back to fucking Keepmoat Homes, wherever you're based, take Gavin Baldwin back to Dome, dunk him in the water park pool, and I'll say, you know what, goodbye, see you later. Dunk him in the Dome water park and say goodbye. Hope you don't drown. Hope you don't drown in the water park.
It's I know someone who works at Rossington, Maine, the football club, and it's the relationship Doncaster has had with its local clubs, with its local community, and it's the way it's going. But hopefully,
I've just looked at the table. We've still got 2 games in hand on Oxford, so we could still finish 5th, which I don't see. But if we
especially when 2 of your games are against Peterborough.
Well, we've got Peterborough twice, Rochdale and Blackpool in between those 2 Peterborough games. If we lose the rest of our games, I'm just looking to see who could go ahead of us. Burton can get 62 points if they win all their games. So yeah, we could finish as low as 17th. We could finish as low as 17th, and Burton Albion could finish above us. And like I said, the fact that they were bottom at Christmas, and we were about to go top of the league by a point at that point at Christmas, and now they could finish above us by a couple of points. That fall from grace is the biggest fall from grace in all divisions in the Football League this season. Biggest fall from grace. The fact that we were nearly top at Christmas, and we now could finish below the team that was bottom at Christmas is disgraceful. The board have come out with a club statement and said that they admitted they over-relied on loanees. They over-relied, and apparently they had 72 hours after during the Darren Moore Sheffield Wednesday saga. They had 72 hours. They had to bring in some continuity. That's why Butler was appointed. Have the board admitted they made mistakes? Yes, they've admitted they made mistakes. But to be perfectly honest, it's like the Super League owners. You can apologise as much as you want, but if we don't see action to rectify that and do as much as you can to rectify that, then it's just empty words and empty promises. So if we don't make the right appointment, we bring in shite players. We bring players that are not good enough for this club, not good enough to be in League One to Championship level, and big players walk for free, or big players walk because they don't want to be here anymore, then I'm sorry, but the board need to go. And if we don't get rid of them soon, then we're going to play fucking Harrogate every week. And that's not what we signed up for. We didn't sign up for League Two football. We signed up for League One and Championship, and to try and take this club somewhere. Because you guys have got history in the Premier League. We've never had the top flight, let alone the Premier League, in the whole 140 odd years this club's been alive. We've never reached the top flight. The highest we've finished is 10th in the Championship. And who do we have as manager? Oh, someone who's in the bookies because a few people put his name out there. Sean O'Driscoll. At this point, I'd fucking take him back. I'd take him back next season, see if we can bring that magic back. But honestly, it's a disgrace. And if the board aren't going to act, get out the club. And that's all I've got to say on
Aaron,
that.
what you've said there,
Rings true for a lot of football league clubs.
Because we felt exactly the same way of the Alams over the last few years.
Obviously, promotion's going to blind our judgment for a bit of the Alams. We're
It
in a
is.
good mood.
That's the
I've
way
just got a message from a fan. This, and he's got slight inside sources. This is what he said to me, because I messaged him saying, if another manager leaves after 2 years, the board needs to go because they've clearly got no backbone and can keep their word. He's just replied saying, like they've spoken about, they won't walk away. And if they did, it's not just the football club, it's Club Disaster, which is Club Doncaster, which is the whole like college and academy and stuff like that. From now on, it'll be about sustainability and stability in this league. It's their comfort zone. Sorry, no ambition, no passion, no bottle, and they need to fuck off. It's clearly as simple as that.
Yeah.
You're asking me about the favourite for the manager position, Joe.
Yes. You said Richie Wellings to me the other day.
Well, I think the tabloid media are doing a battle between Mickey Mellon and Richie Wellings. Paul Heckingbottom is the Betty's favourite.
No.
The youth coach, George Boateng from Aston Villa's in there.
George Boateng.
George Boateng.
Yeah. A.D. Boothroyd's on there. Derek McInnes, the former Aberdeen manager, Derek McInnes. He's in there. Nicky Butt, Daniel Stendhal. Butler has applied for the job and wants it long term, which...
Butler's got a lot. I'm looking at Butler's got a lot of things on the hands. He's a player. He's the manager. He's the women's team manager.
The only reason he's been playing the last couple of games because none of the other defenders can defend a fucking ball. That's why.
Yeah, we were all having a bit of a laugh that you put that the manager's being put into the squad.
This is like the last throw. This is our last throw of the dice. This is our last throw of the dice to save our bloody season, and we haven't even managed that.
Yeah.
Paul's not the worst player on the pitch.
I wouldn't mind McCann coming on the ground if he was going to take a few free kicks. he can pull off.
McCann was a decent player, to be fair, but no, man, no. Just I see names further down that's more unlikely, like Phil Brown and Ian Holloway and Gary Monk and fucking Frank Lampard and John Terry are on the list.
I don't know whether it's the Athletic or something. Someone did an article about Ian Holloway. Basically, he's just how every club he goes to ends up being ruined in some way, and it's quite. I can't remember where I read it, but it was very interesting. Like you don't want him.
It is.
Obviously, he's a character, and people like him because he's a character. But the way he comes to squads, he just buys lackluster talent. He buys in free players. He's not who you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a lot of stories about Rovers in the last few days. You know, Andy Butler giving a warning over the updates on contract negotiations, and the headline was "The grass is not always greener." I've been told that no players have required or expressed their desire to leave, but we don't know that, do we, for sure? And you know, I see what people are saying. I've got an article here on the shortlist of managers. They are whittling down over more than 120 CVs. They've got a final 20? And they're going to have a final 16 that they're going to present to the board. The board whittle it down to the last 6 who go through to the main interview stage, the next stage of the interview process. So we're going to have a final 5 or 6. Apparently, in terms of what they've said, in terms of the type of managers they've got, the objectives, like the criteria that we put out for the new manager, like, you've got to have experience in the Football League, you've got to play attractive football, you've got to achieve high, you've got to manage players, manage Club Doncaster as well, which is a college academy, which I don't know what a manager's going to do there. But apparently all these managers have scored highly in 5 or 6 of the objectives, and there was about 14, 15 criteria, so they haven't even hit half of the criteria, but it's scored highly in at least 5 or 6 of the objectives. It
depends what the objectives are, doesn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. The caliber of candidates, apparently they've got candidates who are very well known and have a huge reputation in the game. They've got up-and-coming candidates. They've got experienced managers, and they've got people like when they appointed Grant McCann. So I don't know what that means, but I mean, they've got people that are going to stay for 2 years and then leave because they're not going to get proper backing.
All right, guys, I gotta go, guys.
Maybe.
All right, thank you very much, Riley.
See you, Joe. See you later. Cheers for having me on.
And
what I take from that what I take from that basically is they've either got well-known candidates, they've got up-and-coming candidates, they've got experienced candidates, and they've got people that all leave in 2 years because they won't get proper backing by the board. Basically, that's the list of candidates. But
who knows, mate? Who knows?
I mean, apparently they're going to announce the manager and the new talent identification manager a few days after the end of the season. They're doing the appointments behind the scenes, and they're going to announce it a few days after the end of the season. And basically, the talent and ID manager, from what I've been told, used to be a performance analyst and is currently at a championship club. So we'll see what happens there. But this is the final trust now. I think strike one was McCann, didn't work, left, and we had to rebuild again. That's strike one. Darren Moore, rebuild, left.
At that point,
that's strike two. Next season is strike three. And if they don't come at me with a home run, they're out.
And it's out. We've got Stephen in the stream now. We're going to get back onto Hull City. Nice from Aaron there to have us from around League One while we're celebrating. There are clubs still struggling as well. Yeah. Stephen, mate, what were your thoughts on today? And then Aaron will get our mate Dean in the chat, not in the chat, in the stream.
Well, yeah, I was buzzing. Obviously, when big Joshy put it away, didn't he? 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was, wasn't it?
4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that good start because we've started quite rough, aren't we? A few games early on, and I was thinking this could be it. And then obviously when I saw it equal, I was like, no, that can't be happening. I was thinking that can't be happening, and then obviously when I heard that we had a penalty, I was like, I'm dreaming here. And then obviously Malik Wilkes was on it and he put it away.
He was so cool, wasn't he?
It was like it, yeah. It was, yeah.
I get pressured when there's penalties in like school football.
Never mind, imagine
and to be that cool.
Yeah.
In that situation, it's crazy.
Literally had our promotion on his hands, didn't he? And then obviously fucking innit?
It's absolutely amazing. And now it's time.
And then when they obviously...
What are your thoughts today, mate, after this win?
We getting them, probably getting them by 2 seasons.
2 seasons in the Premier, and then we're in the Premier League. I think that's a bit too optimistic, but I like your style.
I think we need to do a bit of investment for that first.
Yeah, just a
Don't think we've got Prem quality players yet.
Not quite yet. Greaves and Lewis Potter can develop to a certain extent, but they're not there yet.
I don't think they can be defending the likes of I don't know, Timo Werner and stuff, even though he ain't the best, but
He scored today.
Today?
Yeah, he scored for Chelsea.
The goalkeeper must have lost his legs then.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Well, I haven't said congratulations yet. Congratulations, Hull City, for promotion to the Championship. You guys really deserve it, and I think it'll be a kick in the teeth for Rovers with the fact that the 2 automatic promoted sides after Tuesday will be 2 former Doncaster managers that left under the same board.
Yeah.
Let's have a look through. Shall we?
Our fans say McCann's a snake. Look at the reason why he's left. Then you might have your answer.
Blue View in chat says, let's go, boys. The Tigers are up. Jack Grimley says, come on. Harry Ateshlis says, tuned in from Edinburgh, up the Tigers. Max Tiger HD says, we are going up. Max, yes, you can. If you drop us a message on Instagram, I'll drop you the link. KSJ Dragon says, we are going up. Do you think Lincoln will go up in playoffs or next season? Congratulations on promotion. I'm of the belief that anyone could win the playoffs who are in there and maybe just outside there.
I still think it'll be Sunderland who get playoffs.
I think if we're looking at where the teams are positions-wise, Sunderland 3rd, Lincoln 4th, Blackpool 5th, and it's either Portsmouth Charlton lost, so it's Portsmouth in 6th. So it's the usual playoffs table tree. So it'll be it'll be Sunderland against Blackpool, and it'll be Lincoln against Portsmouth. I see a final. I think Blackpool's got some grit and determination, but you know what? I think last season's semi-final will be this season's final, and I see it being Sunderland versus Portsmouth. And I think Sunderland might just edge it, but I won't be surprised if Portsmouth edge it as well.
Yeah.
It could go anywhere.
If it was the other way around, it was Lincoln versus Blackpool in the final, I'd go with Blackpool all the way.
I think Charlton in good run of form, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they'll just miss out there, but I think they'll go up next season because their rebuild's going to be completely unbelievable under Nigel Atkins, and it's their first full season with their new owners. Same with Ipswich, and obviously Sunderland, if they go up or not, same with them. So, new clubs with new owners for their first full seasons with those owners. So that's why I think we could struggle, and that's why I think we're not going to keep up, and that's why we're going to be in the same position we are this season, and that's where we could finish lower mid-table. And like I said earlier, we're gonna, if we're not careful this season, we're gonna finish below a team that were bottom at Christmas, and we were nearly at the top of the table by that point. So the fact that we could be finishing below that team is embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I think if Nigel Atkins was in charge just like, I don't know, a month or two earlier, they might have been in a different position now, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. But there we go.
It could be so different. Max, by the way, I've tried to message you, but it's just telling me that I can't send you the message for some reason. So if I just drop that in there, Max, you can come on. Let's go back through the chat. Karen Webster says you all. Liam Smith says yes, Joe, been watching all season. Very few people have, so thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations from Lincoln fan. What's your ops on us trying to go up? As we said, it could go anywhere. Back onto Doncaster, at least Tomlinson's hat would have been in the right place. We are going up today. We are going up.
I've got to agree with that comment, by the way, because Louis Tomlinson, I think he's worth something like $71 million, something crazy like that. If he teamed up with a financial investor, someone who cares about football but has millions of pounds, and teamed their money up, that could be the perfect takeover.
Amazing for you.
A homeboy Doncaster lad who's played for the club on a non-contract basis before, who knows the club, who loves the club, who's got his heart at the club, but has millions of dollars to push forward into it and make us a success, and it's something he cares about. I'd go for it. Team him up with a financial backer to give him millions more pounds, and we could be in a great position. But under this current regime, I don't see us be. I mean, the message from the fan who has an inside source just claimed it. They are happy to be sustainable and stable in League One mid-table. That's all they're happy with. And I think another fan messaged me weeks ago and said they are happy with 10th place. For Doncaster Rovers, where we were under the John Ryan ownership, apparently we are happy with 10th place according to the board. Apparently that's there. It's, the letter, the statement says we're constantly fighting top six, but I've had messages from fans saying they are happy with 10th place. They're happy with 10th, and they're happy with mid-table because it's stable.
That's not a mentality. That's just not.
There's no ambition there, is there? Even for Doncaster Rovers, who were in the champion, we were 10th in the championship. That was our highest finishing club history. For a club for Doncaster, even for Doncaster Rovers, that's no ambition. That's nowhere near ambition.
I mean, it's not an ideal situation for you, but for the two of us, myself and Stephen, it's a great day.
I look back on the first review that I did this season from MK Dons. I look back on what we did in the summer. I was so excited going into this season with Darren Moore at the helm. We were bringing in new players. We were making exciting signings. I was like, yeah, I feel like we could do something this season. What's the point? Board are just going to keep upsetting me every year, and the sooner they get out, the better. So
I remember that game one today when Matty Ingram whacked it into one of their strikers, didn't he? And obviously they were not up with it, but it's when they hit the post on that break, I was like, I
was absolutely bricking it then.
I was literally. I think I must have nearly broke my leg foot. Literally jumped up that eye and fell over that eye.
Yeah. I also want to give commiserations to Swindon Town and Bristol Rovers for their relegation today as well.
Agreed.
Swindon could be going bust this summer, by the way.
Not good.
Apparently, they need a new buyer, and if they don't, then
And
they
Super
could go
League,
bust this fella.
but there's no money in the game, is there? According to the, if you ignore the 3.5 billion that every Super League side was going to get for signing up, but yeah, there's no money in the game.
This is when teams need money, though, isn't it?
It is. It's in this. It's in crisis. It's in situations like this that we need to pull together as rival fans, as competitors. We need to pull together as we need to pull together as just people and unite and try and help each other
Well,
out.
I'll tell you what, if Man U fans are trying to protest their owners to go, and same with Arsenal, and same with Chelsea, the Football League fans at their own grounds in their own city should be doing a joint protest at the same time to back for more money for the Football League. And if the Football League are given more money and they're not investing it into clubs and they're keeping it for their greedy selves to run their leagues to give them new sponsorship deals for the Football League, then I'm sorry, but the message still stands overall. Rick Parry, go.
That's very hard to argue with. That's very hard to. Hey, I like that, Stephen. I like that in the back. We should be getting Max Tiger HD on now as well.
Lovely.
On a day which has been oh so successful for.
Did you see Hull City's tweet? Did you see Hull City tweet saying Hull City can confirm that we've formally begun the procedures to withdraw from Sky League One and join 23 clubs in a new competition, the Sky Bet Championship? Well done, Hull. You know what? Even though they've got our former manager from a couple of years ago, and you know what? They've deserved it. You know what? They've made me laugh today, and I respect them for that.
Even though we've not got Ben Towse as our social media manager anymore, that was a massive Towse W because it was at the game. It was at the game. It was sat in the stands. It was.
You had to be there, didn't you?
I'm so glad that it didn't clash with the F1 race in Portugal, so that he could be there.
Yeah,
and
I would have certainly been there if I could have been.
Everyone behind the scenes has shared the success that we've had this season. Tasha Chapman, she's someone who works at City. She said on Twitter that she's been unwilling to talk about results in fear of jinxing it, but she just had to today because it was such a massive achievement. Just before we go,
I want to get your thoughts on this. On something. It's not confirmed information, but this is what I've heard from rumors. It's not confirmed yet, but this is apparently the rumor. Butler or Wellens, apparently that's the possible manager. Apparently, according to contract situations, from what I've heard from rumors, James is going, Wright's going, Halliday's going, Amos is going, Gomez is going, Coppinger's retiring, John Taylor's staying. If Butler is manager, Cameron John's going, and the only people to sign new deals are Greaves and Horton, the two youngsters.
Wow. I know.
And bearing in mind, we've got Ian Lawler coming back from Oldham Athletic already on loan from Oldham Athletic. So we've got Lawler to contend with, got Seaman to contend with. We've got other youth players like Bottomley, Hassani back from loan from Gateshead. Charlie Seaman, we haven't been able to play yet at right back this season because he's in his own social bubble. So that's why we couldn't have used him this season, even though people have been crying out for him to get used. All the loanees going back to their parent clubs. So looking at it realistically, it's a bit of a rinse and repeat because if you think about it mathematically, with the Greaves contract and the Horton contract, we'll only have 6 or 7 players. Where did we hear that? Where did we hear that before? 3-4 years ago, when 2 years ago, when McCann left and Moore came in, we had 6 or 7 players and they had to rebuild the squad completely. Rinse and repeat. Doncaster Rovers under David Blunt. Rinse and repeat. 7 players, rest of them gone. New squad, new everything.
Constant rebuild. Just before we
Adam Henschel, the guy who left as our talent and ID manager, he came in when Grant McCann left. So he was brought in, and now look, 2 years later, we're bringing in a different guy in that position. What's it saying? Are we just going to keep bringing in people to sustain the stability?
It seems as though you're in a cycle of just a constant.
Now I know how it feels like to be Arsenal fans.
Billy Snowden says, hi, Joe. Congratulations on your promotion from a Leeds fan. Just before we end the stream, thank you to Riley, Anne, Aaron, Stephen, Lewis, Lucas, Dean as well.
Yeah, Max.
For coming on. But just before we end, we're gonna hear from Max Tiger HD. Max, what are your thoughts from today?
Well, absolutely buzzing when Aaron said it was 1-0 Hull. Couldn't believe it. But then all the way through the game, I was like, all right, it's still 1-0 at half time. We're doing okay. They score. I'm like, oh no.
Sorry about the boys.
This isn't going to end well. We get the penalty. Everyone's saying, come on, save it.
My dad was sat there saying, he's going to miss it. The goalkeeper's going to save it. He's a good goalkeeper. They're like, shut up!
I was biting my nails at that point because I didn't know what was going to happen. We were all waiting and waiting for such a long time because the referee was trying to check everything, see if it was okay.
Malik Wilkes, when it's
a long wait.
Malik Wilkes, it's calm. It's so calm, boys.
No, what I was going to say is you don't know if he's going to score or miss because sometimes he's like misses.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes
I see what you mean.
Most time this season he has been prolific, hasn't he? What's he gone like 18, 19? Now Josh McGinn is 17.
19.
Like
McGuinness is on 17.
And Keane Lewis Potter's on 11 or something.
12.
What is it on 12?
I think it is, yeah. So our front three has been absolutely
together. That's just shy of like 50 goals, isn't it?
It is. What is that? So that's 19.
Just 20 plus 20.
12 is 31. Then add another 19. 17 to that.
So yeah, that's 51 in it.
51, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because by the sounds of things, none of us are good at maths here. We're going to whip the calculator out.
It's been 3 years since I've been in a maths classroom.
Yeah, I still haven't passed maths. I got a D in school and then a D in college in 2 years until I was old enough to not take the test anymore.
At least you got a grade.
17 plus 12 is 48.
Bloody hell! Yeah. We weren't far off. Like we're only 3.
I'm trying to look at the tables to see who's confirmed their place because there's been no, apart from the League One, there's been no relegations today. We know Norwich
Sheffield Wednesday, get yourself in this division.
No. Sheffield Wednesday, stay in go into League One. I want to face Darren Moore and teach him a lesson about leaving us.
Sheffield Wednesday should come in League One.
I want Sheffield Wednesday down in League One.
Yeah.
I want them below us.
Yeah, thank you.
They can see how it feels.
Yeah, absolutely.
They absolutely ripped us to shreds. Who's going down? And then, David Milett gave him a bit of bite back, says, oi, City are going to be back in the Championship before you're back in the Premier League. Bang, very next year. Look at us. Look at us.
Who's talking
but
now,
yeah, I think Norwich and Watford are automatically up. Brentford have confirmed their playoff place. No relegations. Barnsley and Bournemouth can confirm theirs with a win. Swansea can win their game in hand to confirm theirs. Hull are up. Peterborough have confirmed at least a playoff place. 2 relegation spots have been taken by Swindon and Bristol Rovers. And then in League 2, Cheltenham, Cambridge and Bolton have confirmed at least a playoff place. Southend and Grimsby still not relegated. So there's a few things that have been confirmed.
Grimsby in the National League.
Yeah, Grimsby could go down if they lose their game in hand.
I tell you what I'm looking forward to. The Cycling GK's video tomorrow.
I saw Ben Foster in the Hive Zone, the Hive Zone, which is like their sort of Watford official YouTube channel sort of area where they do the media stuff. And he was celebrating with Daniel Bachmann when they got promoted, the Austrian goalkeeper, after the match today, after they beat Millwall.
He's taking his number 1 spot.
No, Ben Foster was like, you know what, it's hard to take the torch from someone, and you know what, he stepped up to the plate, so he's been really humble.
Yeah, because I do know he broke his finger, and then he obviously recovered, and then he had his warm-up against Norwich last week, and he pulled his hamstring. So
and Arsenal's just got the best news all of their season. Granit Xhaka's now a dad.
And
that's their best news all season.
And that still isn't the best news.
Now the best news is that Bert Leno is just as comical as Ellie Rebelcom.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I bet Leno was a bit pissed in the goal last night.
Yeah. But congratulations as we end. I'm sure we're going to end the stream here, Joe. But congratulations,
Indeed,
Hull City. I think we leave it at that. Congratulations, Hull City.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you very much to everybody who's featured on the stream tonight. Aaron, Stephen, Max, Dean, Lewis, Lucas, Riley.
We want one out. Say we want one out. We want one out. Say we want one out.
We are going up.
Thank you, Aaron. But I think for this last bit, we're just going to put the City fans left on the screen. Can we chant in unison, boys?
Shall I put
we are going up. We are going up. We are going up. We are going up.
You ready for this? You ready for this? I'll mute myself so it's a little surprise for you. Hang on, I'll go work this out.
God. What is this going to be? We're waiting in anticipation, Max.
This is like the Wilkes penalty all over again.
I'm going to get copyright claimed.
Oh, shit. Shall I turn it off?
Yeah.
that realisation.
I don't know how it all works. No, I think you can quietly hear it.
Oh my God. And you know what? That's a brilliant way to end this absolute carnage stream. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone.
All right.
I'll see you all later. Up the Tigers. We are going up. Yes. Come on.
There's a little promotion screen here, look. All the players.
Like that.
You best know I'm going to be using absolutely every single one of the images I find in thumbnails.
I'm going to use that as my thumbnail.
I did say at the beginning of the season I will get a season ticket if we go up. So it looks like I put my hand in my pocket now, doesn't it?
So, yep, get your card out, mate. Get your card out. I'm not showing the back or the front of this. No way.
It'll have to be done like.
Absolutely.
Watch it though. I don't want to jinx it. But we'll play West Brom last day of the season. Grisicky puts us down.
That's not going to go. No, we'll smash him, man. Yeah. Congrats from a QPR fan. Way. Great to see Leeds fans as well.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
All right, ta-ra, mate.
And I'll see you on the title charge.